just like a parrot's beak. It's the only hard part of her body. Well, they're very, very intelligent. These octopus actually have the ability to learn by observation.
Ever wondered if octopuses are actually from another planet? Well, brace yourself for some mind-blowing facts. These incredible creatures, with their alien-like abilities, might just be more than what we think. And it doesn't stop there. There are other animals out there that can give them a run for their money in the intelligence department. Join us as we dive into the mystery of octopuses and explore other creatures that could rival their smarts. The mysterious octopus. When you think of octopuses, what comes to mind? For most people, it's those squiggly little creatures we've all seen in cartoons, documentaries, and maybe even a sushi restaurant. These creatures aren't just your average sea dwellers. They're hiding some serious superpowers that put any superhero to shame. Octopuses, or octopi if you want to sound like a marine biologist, belong to the ancient group of sea creatures known as cephalopods. This group has been around for 530 million years. That is older than fish, mammals, and even dinosaurs. Talk about an ocean dynasty. Now let's take a trip back in time to when octopus ancestors were small, shelled critters crawling along the ocean floor. Think of them as the ancient version of a turtle, trying to survive in a sea full of predators. Their shell was meant to keep them safe, but it ended up slowing them down. And like many things in nature, when survival is on the line, evolution tends to throw a curveball. Around 140 million years ago, these shelled ancestors decided to ditch the armor and take a risk. No shell, no camouflage, just pure squish. This didn't seem like the best idea at first. Without the protection of a hard shell, they were basically just soft, squishy targets for every predator around. Their survival chances were slim to none, yet losing the shell turned out to be their secret weapon. Without it, they gained the freedom to squeeze into any crevice, escape danger, and blend into their surroundings like pros. What seemed like a flaw turned out to be the ultimate survival tactic. They became one of the most adaptable and intelligent creatures in the ocean, outsmarting everything from predators to humans. Octopuses have been around for millions of years, evolving in ways that still surprise scientists today. They've mastered survival in the wildest ways possible, making them one of the most mysterious creatures in the sea. Well, before moving on, here's something truly fascinating. Octopuses, already mysterious and extraordinary, are about to take center stage in the upcoming movie Octopus. In this thrilling story, a giant octopus mutated by years of radiation attacks a Navy submarine carrying a dangerous terrorist. Could octopuses really be this terrifying, or is it just Hollywood fiction? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The octopus's evolutionary masterpiece. At a pivotal moment in evolutionary history, the cephalopods faced a serious crossroads. They could either become easy prey for the ocean's predators, or radically reinvent themselves to survive. Lucky for us, they chose the latter. They didn't just roll over and let the sharks win. Instead, they decided to play the ultimate game of survival and evolved in ways that were nothing short of genius. First up, the body. While other creatures were busy building hard shells or armored defenses, the octopus took a different route. It traded the idea of protection for one of mobility. With almost no firm parts in its body, except for the beak, of course, the octopus developed the ability to squeeze into spaces so small that it can wriggle through holes barely wider than its eyeball. Imagine trying to escape a predator and slipping into a tiny crack that a shark or dolphin could never follow. Now that's a clever survival tactic, but the octopus wasn't done impressing us just yet. It took the whole stay hidden game to a whole new level. These creatures evolved to be masters of disguise, able to change color, texture, and even shape in the blink of an eye. One moment, they're chilling as a pile of coral. The next, they're an unrecognizable blur of sand and algae. Watching an octopus blend into its environment is like watching a real-life superpower unfold. Only, it's not in a comic book. It's happening right in front of you. This ability to alter not just its color, but its skin texture and body shape is a game changer for these creatures. They've turned what could have been a fatal vulnerability into an evolutionary jackpot, giving them a stealth mode that would make even the most advanced technology jealous. Forget sci-fi movies, this is the stuff of real-world miracles. How is this possible? Is it even natural? Well, for the octopus, it's just business as usual. It's proof that sometimes the most out-of-the-box thinkers are the ones who survive against all odds. The octopus. Camouflage Masterclass. The octopus is a master of disguise, and its skills are nothing short of extraordinary. You'd think it's a magic trick. How can an animal change its color, texture, and shape in the blink of an eye? Well, it's all thanks to a freakishly advanced system built right into its skin. The secret? Chromatophores. These are tiny sacs filled with pigment, scattered all over the octopus's skin like a living, moving freckle pattern. Depending on which chromatophores the octopus activates, it can flash colors from black to red to yellow. It's like flipping through the color options on an artist's palette. But this isn't just random chaos. It's an advanced camouflage technique. The muscles surrounding each chromatophore can stretch the sac, revealing or hiding the pigment, allowing the octopus to create intricate patterns like stripes, spots, or swirls that blend seamlessly with the surroundings. You might be thinking, okay, that's cool, but what if I want more colors? Well, the octopus doesn't stop at red, yellow, and black. Enter the erythrophores, super special cells that sit below the chromatophore layer. These cells don't contain pigment. Instead, they house proteins called reflectins. The magic happens when these reflections reflect specific light wavelengths, allowing the octopus to shimmer in shades of metallic blue or green. It's like the octopus has its own secret glowing power. Still not impressed? There's more. Beneath the erythrophores lies yet another layer, leucophores. These reflect the entire spectrum of light, turning the octopus into an almost blinding shade of white. Combine all of this with the right pattern from the chromatophores, and the octopus can essentially disappear, becoming one with its environment. But wait, there's another twist. The octopus also has a network of papillae in its skin that can change its texture. Instead of just blending in color-wise, it can make its skin look like the rough surface of coral or the smooth surface of a rock. This allows the octopus to camouflage not only by color and pattern, but also by texture. It's like it can literally become whatever it's near. This isn't just an evolutionary trick. It's a survival strategy that's been fooling ocean predators for millions of years. And with all these tricks up its sleeve, it's no wonder the octopus is considered the ultimate ocean chameleon. Lights, camera, camouflage, the secret behind its powers. When an octopus moves across the ocean floor, it's not just crawling around like any ordinary sea creature. It's constantly registering its surroundings, adjusting its camouflage, and blending into the environment with mind-boggling precision. The speed at which it does this? Lightning fast. In fact, an octopus can change its camouflage 177 times per hour. That's almost 3 changes every minute. And get this, its camouflage reaction time is a staggering 200 milliseconds. For comparison, a chameleon needs 20 seconds to fully change its color. The octopus is a true speedster in the world of disguise. You'd think with this kind of lightning-fast reaction, the octopus must have incredible eyesight, right? After all, how could it possibly match its colors, patterns, and shapes so accurately without seeing everything in perfect detail? Here's the crazy part. The octopus is actually colorblind. Yep, it can't distinguish colors with its eyes at all. No, it's not seeing the world in black and white. It's just that its eyes don't help it with color at all. So, how in the world does it manage to match colors, patterns, and shapes with such precision? That's when the real surprise kicks in. In 2015, scientists uncovered something remarkable. They discovered that the octopus's skin itself is sensitive to light. It's got special photoreceptor genes in the skin that allow it to detect light and react accordingly. Even if you were to separate its skin from the body, it can still sense light and adjust its chromatophores, those pigment-filled sacs that change its color. This means the octopus doesn't just see with its eyes, it can see with its skin too. The skin reacts to light, sending signals to the brain, which then processes the information and makes the necessary adjustments. It's like the octopus has a whole extra sense, and it's using it to create the most perfect camouflage system known to nature. The octopus's ability to camouflage, combined with its unique sensory system, is truly out of this world. It's like it has a secret superpower, one that allows it to blend into its environment so flawlessly that you could be staring at it and not even know it's there. How's that for a survival strategy? 9 brains, 3 hearts, and 1 octopus. Here's something you may not have expected to hear. Octopus consciousness. Yeah, that's a real thing, and it's one of the most mind-boggling aspects of these otherworldly creatures. If you think their camouflage skills are impressive, wait until you hear about their nervous system. Most of us are used to having a brain in our heads that handles everything from thinking to moving our bodies. But the octopus? It throws that idea out the window in the coolest way possible. In addition to its central brain, each of its 8 arms has its own mini-brain, which works completely independently of the main one. So every arm is like its own little personality, deciding where to go and what to do. It's like the octopus has its own version of a team of tiny CEOs running around doing their own thing. And that's not all. The octopus has 3 hearts. One pumps blood through the whole body, while the other 2 are dedicated to the gills. But here's the wild part. Each arm has its own mini-brain that can make decisions, totally separate from the brain. If an arm is severed, yep, it happens. It'll continue reacting to its environment, running from threats and even grabbing things on its own. It's like the arm is on autopilot, doing its thing even without the octopus's help. This is where the octopus takes delegation to the next level. While humans rely on their brains to handle every little task, the octopus sends the instructions to its arms and lets them take care of things. When it needs to open a jar, it just tells one arm, "Hey, go do your thing." The arm handles the rest, figuring out how to twist, squeeze, and open it. No brain required. Oh, and about that camouflage, the octopus doesn't just do it to blend in. It can mimic different objects in its environment just for fun. It can look like a stingray, a jellyfish, or even a rock, just to mess with anyone watching. With 9 brains, 3 hearts, and a whole bunch of tentacles with minds of their own, the octopus is more than just a creature. It's an enigma. What would it evolve into in a million years? Could it develop its own real consciousness? The possibilities are endless. Love and affection with 8 tentacles. Octopuses are proving that brains don't always come in the expected packages. These squishy sea creatures are masters of mental feats that will make you rethink what intelligence really means. For one, octopuses can recognize human faces. And no, this isn't some fluke. While it was once thought that only primates, dolphins, and a few clever birds had this ability, octopuses are showing us that they're just as sharp. They quickly become familiar with the person who takes care of them and can easily tell them apart from strangers. But it doesn't stop there. If an octopus doesn't like you, it's not shy about showing it. There have been multiple instances where an octopus, recognizing someone it wasn't fond of, swam away from the aquarium wall, visibly changing color to signal its irritation. On the flip side, if it likes you, expect a friendly visit as it glides closer to the tank, giving off a peaceful vibe. No aggression, just a big ol' friendly octopus greeting. But the real jaw-dropper? Octopuses have been known to open bottles with baby-proofed caps. Not only that, but if they find themselves locked inside a jar with a screw cap, they'll bust out with ease. They combine their sharp brains with their tentacle strength to break free from almost any container, making them the Houdinis of the sea. These fascinating abilities show just how intelligent these creatures really are. The octopus isn't just some sea creature mindlessly floating around. It's an extremely clever animal with the ability to recognize faces, solve problems, and escape tricky situations. We're talking about an underwater genius who doesn't need an IQ test to prove its smarts. Keep your eyes peeled. These creatures might just be hiding even more tricks up their sleeves. The solo entertainer of the ocean. One time, a group of scientists decided to test just how much fun an octopus could have all by itself. So they placed it in an empty aquarium with just one secluded place to hide. Nothing fancy, no toys, no distractions, just a blank canvas. Then they threw a plastic jar into the tank. It floated along the water's surface, caught in the stream created by a nearby compressor. At first, the octopus didn't even bother with the jar, but after a while, boredom kicked in. So, in a burst of creativity, the octopus shot a jet of water at the jar, pushing it back downstream. The jar came back, and guess what? The octopus did it again, and again. Dozens of times. It was like the octopus had created its own little game. No rules, no reason, just pure entertainment. What's wild about this is that we're talking about a cephalopod here, not your average dog or cat. This is a creature with 8 arms, a squishy body, and enough smarts to entertain itself. It wasn't about hunting, survival, or any evolutionary need. This was a solo performance in the art of play. The more scientists observed this, the more it shook up their previous ideas about animal behavior. Up until then, playing had always been seen as something social. Animals play to learn how to communicate, dominate, and obey. But the octopus is no social butterfly. It's a solitary creature, with no interest in hierarchy or following rules. And yet, here it was, playing just for the sake of playing, showing that intelligence isn't always about social interaction. This challenges everything scientists thought they knew about how intelligence evolves. The octopus is a game changer. It's showing us that brains don't always need social bonds to develop. They can thrive in solitude, too. With creatures like these, the world of animal intelligence is full of surprises. The unexpected origins of the octopus. Octopuses, the true masters of mystery. These creatures don't exactly roll out the welcome mat for curious observers. They're known for their preference for solitude, making it incredibly difficult to study them in their natural habitat. Setting up controlled experiments in labs is a tough ask, too, especially when it comes to collecting specimens. This only adds to the intrigue. What other secrets do these tentacled wonders hold? And what does the rest of the animal kingdom know that we don't? What truly sets the octopus apart isn't just its bizarre behavior, but its survival story. Over hundreds of millions of years, it has weathered cataclysmic events that wiped out entire species, dinosaurs included. While many creatures have come and gone, the octopus has stood the test of time. It's almost as if it's been playing a game of evolutionary hide-and-seek, and it keeps winning. But let's not get too cozy with the idea that the octopus's evolution is just another tale of earthly development. This is where things get really interesting. Our evolutionary paths took a significant turn long ago, with the flatworm being the last common ancestor we shared with cephalopods. That was around 750 million years ago. In fact, this split occurred well before the dinosaurs even roamed the Earth. While humans were busy evolving land-dwelling vertebrates, cephalopods were crafting something entirely unique, a creature with a vast, complex nervous system, unique chambered eyes, and mind-boggling camouflage abilities. Now hold on to your seat for this one. What if the octopus didn't evolve here at all? What if it actually came from another planet? That's the mind-bending theory proposed by a team of scientists, led by Australian immunologist Edward Steele. They suggest that extraterrestrial retroviruses played a role in life's evolution on Earth. Some even believe that cephalopods arrived fully formed on comets. No slow evolutionary buildup, just drop-dead complex life from outer space. While this theory might sound like something straight out of a science fiction movie, it has scientific backing. Organic material has been found on comets, and even in the harsh, uninhabitable atmosphere of Venus. The idea that life could come from deep space isn't as far-fetched as it seems. In fact, it makes the octopus even more alien than we ever thought. Could it truly be from another world? The cosmic genome! Let's talk about octopuses and their mind-boggling genetic makeup. These creatures have a genome with 33,000 protein-coding genes, which is more than humans have. Yep, exactly that. Octopuses are packing more genetic firepower than us. And what's even stranger, some of their genetic features are so different from other cephalopods, they don't make sense if we follow the typical evolutionary path. Enter the idea that these traits could be out of this world. Steele's group of researchers is seriously entertaining the thought that these genes might not have come from Earth at all. Instead, they propose that octopus eggs could have hitchhiked on comets, arriving here from some distant cosmic origin. Now, before you roll your eyes, let's admit, it's a bit of a wild theory. Critics have had a field day with it, calling it speculative and, well, a bit far-fetched. Dennis Noble, the editor at Science Alert, points out that this whole idea was probably published more to stir up debate about the origin of life and evolution, especially as we discover more organic matter on other celestial bodies. But hey, what if? Whether or not their origins are truly cosmic, octopuses definitely represent an alternative evolutionary path. The oceans, with their underwater volcanoes, tides, sun waves, and wind, are packed with potential energy sources. If these creatures had the drive, they could have easily started their own kind of underwater civilization. Imagine bioluminescent lighting inspired by deep-sea creatures or construction materials made from coral. There's even enough metal and gas in the ocean to power things like jet propulsion, both in the water and the air. So, why haven't octopuses built a civilization? Ironically, their greatest strength, intelligence, has become their weakness. They have everything they need to evolve, but they've chosen to remain animals. And here we are, humans, at the top of the evolutionary ladder. The question remains, what could they have done if they'd decided to evolve beyond their aquatic limits? Octopus civilization that could have been. When you think about octopuses, you probably picture their 8 long arms and their squishy alien-like bodies. But what about their anatomy? It's just as bizarre. For starters, their blood doesn't use iron to carry oxygen like ours. Instead, it uses copper, which gives it a beautiful blue color. Sounds fancy, right? Well, this blood setup isn't as efficient as ours, which means octopuses can struggle to deliver oxygen during some complex tasks. This isn't the only thing working against them. Here's where things get interesting. Octopuses are solitary creatures. They don't live in packs, so they don't pass on knowledge or experience from one generation to the next. Their lifespan rarely exceeds 5 years, with many octopuses living only between 1 and 3 years. This means that each new generation has to start from scratch, learning about the world all over again. If only they had the opportunity to build on past knowledge, they could have been a whole lot more advanced, maybe even advanced enough to challenge us, the two-legged rulers of the land. Had they been given more time to develop, maybe the ocean would have its own civilization, and one day, we'd be looking at a showdown between the land's two-legged kings and the sea's 8-legged monarchs. Or, better yet, imagine the two of us forming an inter-civilization alliance, octopus ambassadors shaking hands with humans. But hey, it's not too late. We might be looking for intellectual equals in the wrong place. Our planet doesn't give oceans much of a chance to foster a true marine civilization. Sure, water covers more than 70% of Earth's surface, but it only accounts for about 0.05% of its mass. On a planetary scale, Earth's oceans are just a thin layer over a huge molten core. But elsewhere, in our solar system, moons like Europa and Enceladus have vast oceans, and there are exoplanets billions of years older than Earth, possibly with the conditions for a thriving oceanic civilization. Thanks to octopuses, we can at least imagine what life could look like on those worlds, where intelligent sea creatures might have already taken the lead. The alien octopus theory that still blows minds. The idea that octopuses might actually be aliens is a theory that's often dismissed by scientists, but it's still too fascinating to ignore. At the core of this theory is the suggestion that octopuses didn't evolve on Earth. They actually arrived here from outer space. According to this idea, 500 million years ago, an icy meteorite carrying fertilized octopus eggs crash-landed on Earth. Yes, octopus eggs from space. Sounds like something straight out of a science fiction novel, right? But let's dig into the theory and see what makes it so intriguing. First up, how could alien life survive the harsh conditions of space? The answer lies in the incredible resilience of microbes. Certain microorganisms, like bacteria, are known for their toughness. Some can survive in temperatures as low as -18°C and even in liquid nitrogen at -196°C. This means these hardy organisms could float through the vacuum of space for billions of years without breaking down. They could endure the extreme pressures of space and survive until they find a planet with the right conditions to thrive. So, if octopuses did indeed come from space, where could they have originated? Since octopuses are aquatic creatures, the theory suggests they came from a water-rich planet. One candidate for this origin is Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. Europa has an icy surface, but beneath it lies a vast liquid ocean. Could an asteroid have collided with Europa, sending chunks of debris containing octopus eggs into space? While still speculative, this idea adds an exciting layer to the theory. It's not as far-fetched as it sounds, considering that Europa is one of the most intriguing places in our solar system when it comes to the potential for life. However, before diving too deep into this space-bound theory, it's worth noting that there are other explanations for the octopus's origins. In 2015, scientists mapped the octopus genome and made some surprising discoveries. One of the key findings was that octopuses split from squids around 135 million years ago, long after the theory suggests they should have crash-landed on Earth. This timeline doesn't quite fit with the idea of them arriving from a meteorite. So, could octopuses really be from outer space? While there's no solid evidence to back up this theory, it remains an intriguing possibility. The idea sparks curiosity about the origins of these extraordinary creatures and leaves room for even more exploration into what might lie beyond our planet. Well, since we're talking about a creature with brains, here's a list of animals that are pretty sharp, even if they don't have 9 brains like the octopus. Just in case you're curious. The Trashcan genius. Raccoon intelligence. Raccoons, found all across North America, have earned a reputation as little bandits of the animal kingdom. With their black mask and habit of raiding trash cans or sneaking into homes, it's no surprise they're often seen as the troublemakers of the wild. But there's more to these furry creatures than meets the eye. Raccoons are surprisingly intelligent. Studies have shown that raccoons can remember how to solve complex puzzles and even recall the solutions for up to 3 years. And if that's not impressive enough, they can also differentiate between symbols. Talk about a clever critter. It's like they have their own little brain gym, constantly working out their problem-solving skills. But wait, it gets better. Some experts claim that raccoons perform exceptionally well on mammal IQ tests, proving they're no slouches when it comes to smarts. Whether it's figuring out how to break into your garbage can or solving a tricky puzzle, these little mammals sure know how to work their brains. So next time you spot a raccoon sneaking around, just know, it's not just looking for a midnight snack. It's probably planning its next big heist. Or, figuring out how to outsmart you. Border Collies, the canine geniuses. When it comes to smarts in the dog world, Border Collies top the list. Along with the Poodle and German Shepherd, these dogs often round out the top 3 for intelligence. But let's be real, Border Collies are like the canine equivalent of rocket scientists. Renowned for their sheep-herding abilities, Border Collies have endless stamina and are always ready to tackle any task. They're the workaholics of the dog world, always on the lookout for something to do. If you give them a challenge, they'll take it head-on, no questions asked. And they don't just herd sheep, they're basically problem-solving machines. Need proof? Border Collies have been known to escape pens by figuring out how to unlock doors and gates. That's right, they can bust out of a locked enclosure. Want to know how smart they are? They can also pick up on subtle changes in your tone of voice.
Go on, Stormy. Away.
So if you give a command, they'll catch those little variations and react accordingly. And it doesn't stop there. They're also keen observers of body language, learning how you move your hands during training. It's safe to say that Border Collies are the Einsteins of the dog world, ready to solve puzzles and do it all with a wagging tail. African Gray Parrot, the talking genius! The African gray parrot isn't your average bird. While many parrots are known for mimicking human speech, these feathered geniuses take it to a whole new level. Not only can they repeat phrases, but they can also pick up on context. From mimicking a phone ringing to the sound of a garbage truck reversing, these birds have some serious sound skills. They can even crack jokes and answer questions, just like a little birdie stand-up comedian.
How about a dog? Can you bark?
But the African gray isn't just a talker, it's a problem solver too. In a 2011 study, these clever birds were put to the test with a task where they had to figure out where food had been hidden. Turns out they have some pretty sharp deduction skills, a level of intelligence once thought to be exclusive to humans and primates. And if you think their language skills are impressive, wait until you hear this. They can learn over 100 words. And it's not just about parroting what they hear. These parrots understand how to use those words in context, making them more than just talking machines. With their incredible memory and problem-solving abilities, African grays are basically the Einsteins of the bird world. Pigs. More clever than you think. Pigs who knew they were secretly geniuses. Forget the old idea that pigs are just dirty farm animals rolling around in mud. These guys are actually as sharp as dolphins when it comes to intelligence. In fact, pigs have been proven to be trainable, with memories that can last up to 3 years. Not bad for a farm animal, right? Not only can pigs adjust to different conditions, but they also know how to navigate their surroundings with impressive accuracy. They have a strong sense of direction and can travel long distances without getting lost. And if you thought they couldn't learn new tricks, think again. One pig even figured out how to play video games. A Penn State University professor gave a pig a joystick, and sure enough, the little guy used his snout to control the game. It's not your typical farmyard entertainment, but hey, who's judging? Pigs can even solve puzzles that would stump the average animal. Take the example of a piglet learning that food wasn't where it seemed to be. After a quick reality check, the piglet realized the food was just a reflection and walked around to the other side to reach it. You might want to think twice the next time you underestimate these clever creatures. So, there you have it. Octopuses, possibly aliens, and a whole bunch of other creatures that are smarter than we ever imagined. Whether it's their mind-boggling abilities or their uncanny problem-solving skills, these animals prove that intelligence comes in all shapes, sizes, and species. Who knows what other surprises nature has in store? Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss another wild dive into the animal kingdom.